Well, we've got ignition problems with the red Enjomor, so it's time to do some quick checking here. First, I'm going to see if we've got, all right. We seem to have a good ground because I'm touching the ground lead here and I've got my other lead on the plug and it is reading, well, maybe it's not a good ground. We're not, oh, there we go. Okay. I am getting 0.8 ohms, so I have a good ground between the spark plug and the ground connection there. So let's see if we've got a short on our contacts somewhere. Our harness from the ignition unit. I was going to say there shouldn't be a connection between any of the two contacts here. All right. Yeah, okay, and I did this to there and there, and then that to there, and got nothing, so that's good. And then yep. Okay. Now, touching one of the contacts for the and I'm not getting anything there. Nope. Okay, so there's no short from either of the contacts to the base, and it's not shorting between the two. But alright, so all that is good. So maybe my ignition module is getting a little weak. I will, since I did just glue or tape this in place, I think it's double-sided tape. Yep, it was just double-sided tape. Yeah, these are, this unit must just be getting a little weak and want to have higher voltage. So I will get a replacement unit out of my stash, and we'll set this one aside as a weak unit and try a replacement unit now that we've tested that out and made sure that all of the connections seem to be good. So the yellow module here is not playing nicely, so I'm going to replace it with this module, and this is the one from the R18 that was burning up all those Hall sensors because it backfires through the harness, but it still seems to trigger fine with a mechanical trigger, and since the Enjomor is a mechanical trigger, we will give it a shot on the Enjomor. So I need to get the ground here. And there's that old unit out of the way. And then I'm gonna have to solder the different style harness on because the Enjomor used the servo plug harness, and the R18 has a different style harness. There. Let's get our bits of shrink tubing in place here, and I think, oh, I forgot to grab solder to go with my soldering iron. Okay, I'm gonna grab some solder, so I'll just tin that and tin those. Now that we have that tinned, we can just touch the two wires together with the iron. There. Alright, I'm going to shrink wrap this up and then we'll get the new ignition module installed and test it. Okay, shrink wrap that connector, plugged it in. We will flip our switch on because I'm not going to poke it through the hole just yet. Plug in our, actually we'll leave the switch off and just slip it out of the box here. And then got, all right, those contacts are open. Flip the switch on. Okay, cool. Switch off, and then actually gonna check our timing here. So it just sparked and it is at top dead center. Okay, cool. I think that should be able to use this broken or bad ignition module from the R18 here, because like I said, it was just frying Hall sensors because it was putting the high tension back through the trigger harness, but since this is a mechanical trigger, having it doesn't need the third connection, and there's no electronics. For the sensor being fried by that high tension, so we can just cut that lead off and let it sit. Now, the switch is an 8mm. Now that we've got this ignition module sorted out, that should mean we'll be able to run the red Enjomor for a little bit with the red flywheels on it. So